Laura's initial idea was to have two different sonic palettes, sonic worlds for the two characters.
Definitely. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
So with Stephen, um, I represented him by using the cello and strings, and he's a character that's searching for something. He's trying to find himself, in life. What's his purpose in life? And there's an energy to him, and he's a lovely human being. There's a real energy to him. So those initial themes were the first pieces of when he's traveling around the world and going to Africa and the Congo, and there's that's the first piece of music that I actually wrote. And then with Alessia, we're following her dreams and her ambitions
Yeah.
as a young child. And so we thought, well, so Laura thought maybe we can have the human voice, a female voice. And I know it's very cliched, and I try to steer away from convention
Yeah.
and cliches whenever possible. So, but I thought that it fit in this film because the film is about breath. It's about diving. It's about holding your breath and diving down in the world of freediving. So the vocals that I do use are sung in a very breathy way. Uh, so I sang some of the vocals, and then I brought in another friend who's a singer, and she sings on the score. And one of the early scenes, what I love, there's an early scene with Alessia when she's 12 years old,
Yes.
and a friend of mine's got a daughter who's 12 years old, and she's got a voice and she sings.
It's 12 years old.
So for that particular scene, I actually brought in her and Melody, and her name is Melody, and she sings on that particular cue. And so that route to authenticity is really important to me in all my scores.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
so interesting that the two characters are coming to this, they're coming on the same journey, but they're
yes,
coming from opposite sides. She's incredibly competitive
yeah,
and a high achiever, and he's just looking for meaning, but they
yes,
end up in the same place. And
yes,
that's kind of what your score did, I thought. So I
yeah,
was thinking, like the way I thought, I'm glad you brought up the whole idea of the conceptual way to approach, because I do
mm,
the same thing. Like I have to have a concept of what is the purpose of the music? What is it supposed to be doing? And
yes,
so I was looking at this and I was thinking, okay, your score has to function in these different ways. It has to be, there's an ambient experience of the sea. There's the hero's journey of the two characters coming
mm,
from different places. There's a
mhm,
love story, and
yes.
then there's a tragedy, like
Yes,
all
well
heroes'
then,
journeys.
yeah, just focusing on their connection and their story and the love story, we have these different sonic palettes, and they two-thirds of the sort of 20 minutes before, half an hour before the end, two-thirds of the way through the film, the characters meet and they fall in love, and
Yeah.
their themes and their sounds intertwine, and that's a beautiful moment.